Well, hi, everybody. It's another Conversations with. I'm Dick Vaughn, and with me today is my good friends, the authors. The authors 3.
That's us.
They're all back, and I'm so delighted. We have Gail Olmsted and Ed Lonergan, and, of course, my pal, Tracy Ryan. And so it's delighted to have you back, and I'm so glad to see you all. You're all doing well?
Yes.
Yes, very well.
Very well.
Good.
Yes.
How are the books going?
Good. I was just telling the ladies here that I have 2 agents that requested my full manuscripts, and I have another one that requested the first 100 pages.
So you're writing a new book?
I have a manuscript out, and I'm working on another one. Yes.
Oh, good for
So,
you.
yeah.
You keep busy.
I do, and I have 2 more that are kind of outlined. So, yeah. I have them lined up. All I need is time.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, that's it.
Tell
Once
me
I get
about
the
it.
time, yeah. So I'm doing well.
Good. And Tracy?
Doing very well. So actually started talking to local businesses. I was actually at Brookfield Orchards this morning. So they are now going to carry my books and also with Lost and Found Mercantile on Main Street in Ware. So they're carrying my books now too. So
Neat.
Lost
That's
and
good.
Found what?
Lost and Found Mercantile. So one of the new stores
I
on Main
lived in
Street.
Ware for 30 years, and I went back there about a year and a half ago to go to Teresa's.
Love Teresa's.
Yeah, I love Teresa's. Well, I was there when they opened, so I know them for many, many years. But at any event, I try to get up there once or twice a year, and I drove down Main Street and cried because a fellow named Joe Sabula and another fellow named Eddie Urban and a guy named Dick Vaughn who had formed a revitalization committee. And back in about 1980, I had a good friend in the State House, and his secretary of growth was Amy Anthony, and I was able to get for Ware a 1% loan, and we helped a lot of businesses, and we did the whole Main Street over, and the Ware Co-op Bank moved from the corner of what's the street that runs up Church Street,
Church Street.
corner of Church and Main, to across the street and on the corner of Anamessic
That's
Square.
right.
Yep.
And the Ware Co-op Bank is now
Yep.
gone.
Right.
I don't know who the new one is, but
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, but they're there. They're still in the bank. But that used to be a big furniture store at one time when they moved over there. And the amazing thing, when they were doing work, they would take walls down and they would find things that were behind the wall
right.
Oh, yeah.
that they couldn't believe. You know,
Yeah.
it was so they actually stripped it and had real natural brick. In some areas, it was beautiful, but time changes, and in a lot of the old stores, is Nat Falk still there?
Nat Falk is still
Store
there.
for men and
Falk is
boys.
still
I was
there.
there a couple of weeks ago.
The Nat Falk store for men and boys.
It is.
He was a great pal of mine. Nat's
And
long gone.
he has things. I needed a suit, and he had a suit.
Yep.
No one else had. Wonderful place.
Yep.
But downtown Ware, yeah, it's.
Yeah.
It's
Duran
totally different.
Sisters.
It's,
Yeah, Duran Sisters is gone.
That's
Yes.
gone.
Yeah,
Yep.
but I remember when Thursday night you couldn't move.
Yes.
You know, and
Yeah.
it was a busy town. Well, a lot of the towns.
Yeah.
The old mill towns.
Mill towns.
Yeah.
The old mill towns in the 50s and 60s, and when the mills were cranking, they were going.
Gabe's is still there.
Oh yeah, Narratowoc.
Narratowoc.
The White Eagle's got to still be there
It is, yeah.
on Pulaski Street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
but anyway.
Although I missed that.
So anyway,
bakery
so
on
you guys,
Pulaski.
so they're in your store. At the
Yes,
Lost
so
and
they're in the
Found.
store. Yep. So trying to go out to a few of the shops in Sturbridge as well. So yeah, getting the word out there.
Well, that's good.
That's a good thing.
That's true.
And Gail, how are you doing?
I'm splitting my time between marketing the 4 books that I already have and then finishing up the final edits on my 5th book, which is historical. So I'm trying to balance.
And of course, you're teaching in the meantime.
And teaching in the meantime, yeah.
Yeah. So it keeps you busy.
Yeah, besides that, what
Always
are you doing?
busy. Yeah, nothing.
you know.
Sleep is overrated.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah. I only say that because I never get enough sleep, but
Well, I'm like, I'm one of these people who, if I get 5.5 hours, I had a great night.
Yeah.
Because, and then my poor wife, I'll be in the middle of the night and I'll think of something. and I'll wake up and jump it, because if I don't write it down, I forget it in the morning. I
But
can't
can you
remember what
read
it
it in
was.
the because I write something
yeah,
down in the
I
middle of the
can't
night,
read
and
it.
then the next morning I look at it and say, "Brr, brr, brr," you know,
I know. I
doesn't
can never
make any
read mine
sense.
either. I was like, well, I'm sure at the time it was a fantastic
Idea,
idea.
yeah.
but
Try that without glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but no, it's, but I, you know, especially when I had the stations, you know, I got one of these minds that never stops, you know, and although my doctor says, don't stop, that's what keeps you going.
That's right. It's
true.
Yeah.
It is
You
true.
got to stay busy.
Yep.
you know.
That's true.
And so I keep all my things doing that I'm doing, and I keep myself busy, and it's true. And my doctor happens to be at Mass General, and I've had him since 1984. And my birthday was this past summer in August, and I turned 84. And so I had my physical recently, and he says, he just shook his head, and he says, don't stop doing what you're doing. He said, I got people 20 years younger than you, and they come in here, and the party's over.
Yep.
He said, they sit home, and they watch the only thing they're good at is clicking the channels.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
how good they are. He says,
Yeah.
and life has passed them right by. You know, he said, you got to stay busy. You know, and he said, and it's like reading. You know, and there's so much knowledge out there. You know, although now everybody's crazy. You know, computers, you can find out anything. You know, you Google it. Google it. You know.
Anything in minutes.
Yeah.
You
Right.
name it.
Yep. It's you know, the thing that baffles me is how they loaded all this stuff. You know, like I started in radio in 1952, 53, and I used to do news and sports. But I used to have Sundays. We had a bunch of programs in the morning. It was crazy. That's how we got our public service all done. But then at 10 o'clock, I'd go in from 10 to 1 because I got a few extra bucks to do it, and I did a disc jockey show.
Okay.
So I'll be talking to Jen, and I'll talk about a big hit from 1952. And I never heard of it. She's younger than I am. Poor girl. She missed so much. Anyway, so I say, well, go ahead, like there's a song Down in the Caribbean by Mitch Torok that was very popular in 1952. She looked at me like I had 14 heads. I said, well, go ahead and see if it's in there. Comes right up and she plays it. How do you know that? I said, because it was a big hit back
Yep.
then.
Yep.
You know, one of the great songs, the song was, someday look it up. How it ever became a hit, I'll never understand. It was a song called Oh Happy Day by Don Howard. And it went like this. The sun is shining, oh happy, no music, just sang.
Oh, all right.
And just like this. The sun is shining, oh happy day, all my troubles will go. And it was huge.
Really?
It was huge.
And when was
Google
this?
it. Google it.
When was
Oh
it?
Happy Day by Don Howard.
Okay.
Next time I see you, you'll tell me all about
I will.
it. But I mean,
I'll listen to it later.
you know, the other thing I was, you know, then we'd play Glenn Miller and
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra and Bing Crosby and so forth. And every once in a while, now they're all playing Christmas music. And there's only one version of White Christmas. That's by Bing Crosby.
Right.
Period. End of report. Well, you listen to WSRS and these other stations. They're the official Christmas music station. And they play versions of White Christmas
Right.
Right. Oh, yeah.
by a rock band.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I was saying to Jen the other day, how has music changed? You know, and she said, what do you mean? I'd say, Jen, go back and listen to the music. You know, even Tony Bennett, who's still alive, songs he made back in the 50s, 60s. You know, I said, they were talented people.
Yes.
Oh, sure they were, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, real talent.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
yeah, not like today.
no. I was the original drummer boy, the little drummer boy, and now you hear versions of it. Doesn't even sound like it.
I
No.
know. I know. Yeah.
You know, but it's amazing how things have changed. So next time you do a historic novel, there you go.
All about the songs.
Well, hold it. How many people didn't grow up with a favorite song?
Nobody that I know of.
I always, yeah.
Yeah.
You think about it. Everybody has
yeah,
a song.
sure.
And a lot of times, songs were related to events.
or
Right.
places or
or,
people.
or things that
Right.
happened in your life.
And you
Sure.
can weave a story out of those songs. Oh, sure, yeah.
You went to the Cape
Yeah.
for 2 weeks when you were 16 with your parents, and the big hit that year was,
Right.
and you played it every day at
Right.
the Cape.
Right.
Right.
You know, so you remember the Cape.
Sure.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
but it's amazing how music to people who are over 45, you know, who have, they can tell you this was the song they played at the prom. I mean, I know my graduation song. It was called I Believe. That was a big hit. Frankie Lane recorded I Believe. And that was what we sang at our graduation. You know, and so, you know, it's unbelievable how music affects people's lives and
does.
songs that are important to them.
And the
that
way
they'll
you can remember song lyrics, I can't remember what I
Had for
ate
breakfast,
for breakfast,
but,
but I can remember song lyrics
sure.
from,
Oh, yeah.
you know, from any. I mean,
Yeah.
put it on the radio and I can sing.
Right.
You can
I know
sing
every
it.
word.
Oh, yeah.
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 Do you remember when you first heard a song?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Sometimes.
Especially-
a lot of times with a song, the first time I hear it, it doesn't click with me until I have to hear it a few times, and then all of a sudden I can't get it out of my head, and I don't want to.
Van Morrison's Brown Eyed Girl.
Oh, I love Van Morrison.
I got a transistor radio for my birthday, and it, you know, pull out antenna, though, and I flipped it on, and that's the song that was there. That was the very first song that played.
I have to tell you, if you talk about transistor radios, one of the great promotions of my life, I owned WARE. And they had a Halloween parade every year in Ware.
Yeah.
And the kids would all dress up and they'd march from the fire the old fire station,
Yeah.
down to the town hall, and they would be judged, and you'd get $1 or $2 or whatever, candy, whatever it was. So I get a call from the guy that was head of the parade. And he said, Dick, we got a real problem. I don't know what we can do. The high school band, they're not ready to play march yet. They got a new music guy, and they don't know a lot of the songs, and he doesn't want to put them on the street and embarrass them. I don't know what we're going to do. I said, all right, let me think about this. So I said, I know what we can do. So I developed. We had people. How would you like? We ran a big promotion, and you could have a transistor radio, and you could be in the WARE marching band. Everybody thought I was crazy. I got 50 kids. One of the girls on my staff used to be a majorette in high school. So she organized it,
Yeah.
and she led them down the street. And they all brought their radios. And they all turned them up as loud as they can turn them. And at the radio station, we played march music. And they marched
It
down the
works.
street to John Philip Sousa, and they were the WARE marching band.
That works.
People
Yeah,
were.
why not? Yeah.
Oh, it was
Sure.
incredible.
Gotta
Sure.
go with what works. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and so that's what we did. But that when you mentioned
Yeah.
transistor radios,
And now they do it with their cell phone.
Right.
well,
Yeah.
it's
Right.
Yeah, no, not the same, but yeah,
not the-
transistor radio.
No, but that was,
Yep.
you know, you talk about things of the past, you know, but that's the amazing thing
Mm-hmm.
is how music affected people. So,
I think that's me.
state police. No. So anyway, someone's calling.
No, that's mine.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
that's all right. Anyway, that may be important, you know. Could be a big hit. Anyway,
I'll call him back.
let's get back to talking about books. So, what's on your agenda?
So after the holiday season, right now it's the big push for holidays
Yeah.
and sales. Then probably January, because there'll be nothing else to do in the Arctic tundra that we live in. I'll get going on my next book. So it'll be another probably series.
Yeah.
I left the last one a little bit open ended on
So
a
you can-
few
so you can-
things.
Yeah, of
The
course.
trilogy
somebody-
becomes a
What's
quad.
what the
Trilogy.
quad?
So now you can
Quadrilogy.
drag somebody out of that.
Yeah,
Whatever,
So
yeah.
it'll probably be a couple of the same characters, but then some new ones in there. So, yeah. So I left it enough that if I felt like doing another series, I could. So I'll probably start that in January.
That's good for
Yeah,
you.
it is.
Sometimes characters just stick with you. When I wrote my first book, I never thought I would address that character again. And then when I was getting ready to write a third book, I kept thinking of Jackie, my original character, and I thought, what's she doing now? And I wanted to follow up with her. And I did the same thing with my fourth book. I kind of followed up on my second. So it's very, you just don't want to like leave these.
Well, you
you know,
put much
it's-
effort
Yeah.
into developing
Developing
them.
them, and, yeah, they're
But
yours.
the one that I'm working on now that I actually wrote and put to the side, it is a retired college professor, inherits the family farm. They were the original hoarders, but they had a sense of history. They never threw anything out. And he tells his family story that way, but it's all of the characters in my first 2 books.
Oh, okay.
cool.
Yeah, it's fun when you can. Yeah,
Well,
when
you
you
know,
can make
you
a
can't
little.
get- you can't get
yeah,
rid of 'em.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, there was a great pal of mine named Bob Parker who made a living with Spencer.
Yep.
Spencer Fahaya.
He wrote his first book, and he wrote book after book after book, and ended up with a movie and a TV show.
Right.
You know, and the one thing he did, and I remember him. We were out at Faneuil Hall having dinner, and he was telling me because he wanted my advice. When they were negotiating the movie rights, the one thing he wanted was he wanted control, because he said those guys take a movie and they'll change it.
Right.
And Spencer's got to be Spencer,
Right.
and Hawk's got to be Hawk.
Right.
And I have to have the control to approve that, because I don't want them to change it on me, you know. And so it took them months. They fought back. They did not want to do that. And then he said, "Well, then forget it."
Yeah.
And he was willing to walk away.
You have to be willing.
Well, yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was
Sure.
willing to
Yeah.
walk away from the movie people until they finally said, "Okay, you got final say." And he controlled the final literary approval of the TV show, and which was good. I mean,
Right,
I
yeah.
don't think it was bad.
Right.
But so there's a lot to be said about pulling characters, and because, you know, I share this with you. Jen loved your books, but she has characters that were her favorites. So if they go away, that's fine. But if they come along, then she's going to be more willing to say, "Ooh, I got to find out."
Right.
Oh,
Right.
there's a new one. Oh,
Right.
wow. You know, and she'll continue with that, because that's important.
In my first 2 books, I had a character, a horse, Bubs. What was his name? Bubs. And I thought, it's a horse. I've had
A
people
horse
say,
is a horse, of course.
but
of
I've had
course.
people say, I love.
Everyone knows that
I-
a horse can't talk.
I loved Bubs. Bubs was one of my favorite characters. It's like, how about the rest of them? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. So, but yeah, it's odd.
funny the way- the things
But I
that-
never thought of Bubs as a character.
Right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
People pick up on
you know,
or
believe me,
remember.
you can make somebody anything or anything somebody.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's amazing. People love monkeys. People
Me.
love. You don't?
Ooh, no.
Oh, you never gone to the zoo
no,
and
they're
watched
too,
monkeys?
Ooh, no.
Oh my God,
No. Penguins.
penguin. All right,
Penguins are cool.
there you go.
Penguins
are cool.
So there they are.
Yeah.
So you're a penguin lady. Got it. My point is, people love penguins. You see, so it's amazing what you can find out there.
Sure. They've made movies about
Now I
penguins.
sit down. I'm not a big TV viewer.
No.
I watch the news. I watch the Red Sox, and I watch the Patriots.
Okay.
But I get up at 4:30, watch the news every morning, Channel 5, all my girlfriends on Channel 5. And what I do is, we live in Charlton, and I have access, so if Cindy will, what's going on in Charlton, if there's going to be a snow, and I'm like a damn fool, I go out in the backyard with a ruler and measure it for her.
Oh, yeah.
And tell her we got 3 inches of snow in Charlton. And, 3 minutes later, she's talking about, and Charlton's got 3 inches of snow. But it's amazing how much they need that,
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
because it
Yeah.
gives them a feel.
Sure.
If they're predicting 6 inches of snow, they want to make sure you're going to get that.
Right.
And just
But-
one town over can make such a big
Oh,
difference. It's
totally does.
crazy.
Absolutely.
It
It's
is.
crazy
Well,
how.
we live,
Look at
we,
the
live,
other day.
we live near the lake.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So we get, the lake is wide and the wind whips, so we will get more snow on this side of the lake than they get on that side of the lake.
Which lake are you on?
Glen Echo,
Me too.
really.
Yeah.
You guys are
Wow.
neighbors.
Wow.
We must be.
Well,
yeah.
I'm off Route 31.
I'm off Osgood.
Where's
Oh,
that?
Osgood Road?
What's it off of? Brookfield Road?
Brookfield Road.
Oh, you live on the rich side.
Oh,
I'm over on the
yeah,
poor
that's
side.
me.
You're on the rich side. I'm on the
Brookfield.
poor side.
No, great.
I live on
Rich.
the poor side, but that's okay.
Okay.
Oh,
But
that's
in any
so
event,
funny.
but in any event, the wind whips off that lake,
Like crazy. Yeah.
like crazy, and so a lot of times we'll get snowdrifts, so you got to be careful of those because you measure it and it's 9 inches, but you really only got 3 inches of snow.
Right. It's just all the
So
drifting.
it's,
Yep.
it's unbelievable. So you're all busy she's getting ready to write them. You two are writing them. That's incredible.
I'm trying to find an agent.
I am too.
The manuscript that I have that's out there has a lot of potential, and I believe in it, so I'm going to find one. I have 2 that are reading the full manuscript, and one has the first 100 pages. And I've had a couple that have said no, but they've given me some good criticism, which is nice.
'Cause that's
Some-
hard. I mean, a lot of times they won't even.
Yeah, you get
know,
the
they won't
form
even
letter
bother.
and
Yeah.
it's, yeah.
One of them actually
I got a
wrote me-
one-word email one time from an agent, and it just said pass. And that was it. Just pass.
One of these agents actually wrote me a full page, like 5 paragraphs.
Wow.
And it's like, yeah, so that was good. And then
That's
she
great.
said, no,
I had,
thank you.
I had
but
a great friend who used to do a program here every month. He worked for the FDA. And he wrote a whole movie on Custer,
Okay.
General Custer.
Yeah.
Did hours of research. And he sent it to this person, to that person, to this person. And then he'd get someone to get back to him and say, well, okay, I like the idea, but what he would find is the minute he'd get somebody interested, they'd want to change it.
Right.
Now,
Oh,
you got to
yeah.
do this,
Yep.
we got to do that, and we got to do this, and we got to do that. And he said, well, that's not the real Custer.
Right. Yes.
That's not what really happened.
Right.
That doesn't matter.
Right.
Right.
This agent came back to me and said, if you want to revise it, all of these, like cut out the first third and move,
Yeah.
then I'll take a look at it. It's like, but that ruins the story,
Yeah.
So, whatever. Anyway.
The thing
And
that,
it's
the thing that,
subjective.
the thing
Well, it
that,
is, but
go ahead.
it's my baby,
Well, yeah,
I know
and
it's good.
and I know Gail, you and I have talked about this in the past too. About I've stopped reading like reviews and things like that because it's at that point in time where someone is being subjective, and it's like, well, an agent a little bit different because that is their profession,
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's someone's opinion.
Exactly.
I got a review the other day on my second book, and it said that the characters were well developed. Some of the the plot twists were really interesting. I found it enjoyable to read, and they gave it 2 stars. It's like,
I've had a couple of those too, yeah.
how is that?
You have to
Right.
understand something. We live in a time in America where being cruel is the end thing. We have cruel people. We have people.
Well, I thought you said cool.
Cruel.
I was like,
Cruel.
cruel. Oh, yeah,
We
cruel.
have-
Cruel.
Well, that's a word you haven't heard.
like,
No.
Yeah.
It's an old word, but it's cruel. And we have people, and I think a lot of it is what's going on in our country. We have divisiveness. We have hatred. I mean, it's just sad. But people are. I mean, first of all, you go on social media, you go on Facebook, and some of the things that people put in there, like I do a lot reading Google News, and you look down, and the things people comment about, and the language that they use.
Oh, yeah. That's,
So it's no wonder that somebody looks at a book, and beauty is still in the eyes of the beholder, and
yes.
50 people can love your book, but there's one. Look, no good deed ever goes unpunished. Okay,
It's true, very true.
And in my life, I could tell you stories. One of the great things about I used to be involved in politics, and I learned early on that when you're involved in anything like that, a political situation, and what people have to understand is every time you make a decision, you make an enemy. Because if there was a decision, that meant there's 2 sides to the story.
Right.
Right.
So the longer you're in politics, the more decisions you make, the more enemies you develop. So I was town moderator in Ware, and I ran, and I got elected for a 3-year term, and I ran for re-election and got another 3-year term, and then decided not to run again because I'd get beat, because I made a lot of decisions. And you could feel it out there. People, even people who couldn't wait for me to get elected at the first year, by the 6th year, because in those days, the town moderator in Ware made all the appointments to all the committees and commissions. You know, you were almost like the mayor,
Yeah.
even though we had selectmen. It was just the way the moderator was. And you control that town meeting.
Right.
You decided
Right.
what articles would be on the warrant.
Right.
Now, I've had cases where the selectmen would send up a whole bunch of articles, and I'd send 25 of them back. And I'd say, those are decisions you have to make. Well, the reason they put them on the town meeting is they didn't want to make the decision.
Yeah.
Because it was a
course.
hot potato.
Right.
Of course.
And I'd ship them back to them, you know. But the point is, it's just what it is. And we live in a society where, for some reason, people find it difficult to be nice. And they find it difficult to be kind,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, plus too, I mean, they're hiding behind a computer screen.
Sure.
So it's,
Yes.
you know, and I always like, all right, I'm all open for feedback, absolutely.
Right.
Constructive feedback.
Right.
But say it to my face. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you're hiding behind on social media.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, oh, well, you know, I live in California. I don't know this Gail person. I'm
Right.
just going to give 2 stars because I feel like it. And, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Whatever.
It makes them feel good. They really, they enjoy pitting themselves against you or anybody else. And they enjoy, because I've seen it happen even on Facebook. You read things and they'll go, and ba, 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 but you stink.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
oh, yeah.
Yep.
You know, and you say, what? You know, what?
Yep.
Yep.
You don't understand some of it, but yeah.
I had
no,
a,
it's
I had a,
opinion. That's
I had a,
right.
I had a
It is.
rule at the radio station, all my stations, and I used to fight with my friends in the newspaper business. I would never, ever, ever entertain anything that came in anonymous.
No.
Because that
That's-
person,
Yeah.
that person,
Right.
A, had no courage.
Right.
B, was hiding behind anonymous,
Mm-hmm.
and they'd write a letter. You know, your disc jockey Joe in the afternoon is lousy, blah, 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 blah,
Right.
blah, anonymous.
Right.
Yeah.
I heard him say this, and I heard him say, well, first of all, I used to answer anybody who, from the day I sold my last station, I had a live person answer the phone. I thought it was, in fact, no business does that anymore. Everything is
Oh,
now a
God,
machine.
no.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
But anyway, I had
You
live
get a real
people.
person, it's like, wait,
Here's
hello?
what
I had
Yeah.
live people.
Yeah.
And so if anybody sent me a letter and they had their name on it and I'd get their address, I would write them back. I had a basic stock letter. Thank you very much for your interest in WXYZ. I'm so glad that you enjoyed the station. I am a little disappointed that you didn't like what we did last Thursday. But I take that, you know, constructive criticism and appreciate you sending me your thoughts. You know, best regards, Dick Vaughn, and off it would go.
Yeah.
And in fact, when I got involved with one of our governors, I'd be traveling with them, and all these people would want certain things, and I would follow them, and I'd get their name and address, and I had 5 postcards printed that were made that he signed, and it would say, such and such and such and such, thank you very much. The governor will look right into this. Best wishes, Governor. And that would go out the next morning. Oh my God, I got this right back. And then that bought me time to get it over to the appropriate secretary so they could follow up on it. And it might take 3 weeks for them to get back to
Right.
the guy, but we got back to him within
Right.
3 days.
Right.
You know,
Yep.
and it was important.
Yep.
You know, but I was saying about television. You watch a football game now, or the news, and some of these promos. Who watches these things at night where people are ripping off women's clothes, cars are blowing up, they're shooting each other? Tonight on NBC,
Right.
and you say, whoa,
Everybody has to die.
it's unbelievable.
Find a show that doesn't involve murder
You know, or violence.
or violence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then their argument is, it sells.
Sure. Yeah.
It sells.
Sex and
But now,
violence.
see, none of you people, all your stuff is happy-dory like you live.
I wouldn't say that. I murder people in my books.
Well,
so.
you had my poor girlfriend in a
They
ditch,
deserve it.
in a ditch in Howard. I mean, why would you ever want to be in a ditch in Howard?
I had a woman who was two-timing with 2 soldiers, and they
That's
killed her
true.
husband. And
Oh,
yeah, she
no.
was nasty all
After
the
I
way.
just said you got.
But it was fun. Gets people's attention.
Yes, it does.
Oh,
What's great with a character, though, you can do anything you want with it, and you can end up taking and killing one off just because it's like, why not?
Right.
This is a real
But it's
emotional.
so
it's an-
forever, though,
but
unless
it's
you
a-
go back and
but
write
it's an
a-
emotional twist. It's you
Yeah.
can rip their heart out. take Johnny and boom.
Doesn't have to be forever. Look at all the soap operas.
I
Yeah.
killed somebody
People
off
come back
in
10
a
years
book,
later.
and it just, I regret it that I did.
I was reading a book a while ago, and it was a great character, and like 2/3 through, all of a sudden he dies.
Oh,
It's like, what the hell? You know?
Yeah.
Pulled a great character away.
thank you so much for coming to the end of another
Thank
program.
you.
You guys are great. We got to come back again after the holiday.
Absolutely.
Thanks
Sure.
again.
Thank you.
Thank you,
There
Dick.
you are,
Appreciate
folks.
it.
That's another Conversations with.